A very good evening. Welcome back to the Dugout Football Channel. Welcome back to the World of Football podcast. As we are back with another podcast, and there is a lot to discuss. We have basically a quarter Welsh this evening. To my right-hand side, I have Nathan. How are you doing, Nathan?
I'm doing very well, Doug. Massive week for us. Hopefully better than last weekend, let's just say, if you saw my live stream. Thanks for having me on as usual. And up the city.
We've also got Bluebirdlegend Paul Morgan. How you doing, Paul?
I'm doing great, Doug. How are you?
Not bad. Not bad, thank you. We've got below me, we have Reece Russell in a 97-98 Manchester United away top. How you doing, Reece?
Living, breathing, ruling the stream. Welcome to my show.
We're also joined by two debutants on the podcast tonight. We are joined by Mack LFC. How are you doing, Jack?
Absolute pleasure, boys. Thank you for having me on. Can't wait to get stuck in. There's a lot of topics we can talk about, but hopefully every single one of you is keeping safe and well. But cheers, lad.
Not a problem. And we also have, from Swans Away Days, we have Rhys Bish. How are you doing, Reece?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, Doug. Thanks for having me on, and I'm looking forward to this.
It could get feisty. It could get feisty. Let's say a few hello to a few people. Jamie, good evening. Hope you're doing well, Jamie, and evening to Hella as well. Unfortunately, you will notice that there is one person missing now. Unfortunately, Mr. Bell had a bit of sad news earlier, so we wish him well, but he obviously wanted to be on tonight, but unfortunately he is not. And let me just get, I think Mr. Anthony is in here as well. Hello, Anthony.
Here we go.
Hello, sorry I'm late. I could say fashionably late, couldn't I?
That's all right. Not a problem. Not a problem.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah. Rich Sports is in. Hello, Rich. Hope you're doing well. And El Boss says, up the Swans. This is going to be a very interesting show, but we have to start with the Premier League review of the weekend. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm basically going to give you one game to talk about, and we'll go from there. So starting things off with Nathan, 1-1 draw between Newcastle United and Aston Villa. Now, this result doesn't really help Newcastle because, you know, they are very, very close to the relegation zone. But what did you make of this game?
Wait, hold on. 1 second.
Yeah,
One
Josh has just put
second.
me in the chat.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt, lads. Josh has actually commented, so guys, just give a bit of, just a wee message of acknowledgement just to Josh. Even if he doesn't stay long, just because he's got something on his back. Good thing on his back.
What I'm saying in the stream is I'm going to put my head down for the night. Hope you all enjoy your night and enjoy the stream. My return will be by next week. Thanks for all the support, guys. Yeah, Josh, look after yourself, mate. And look after yourself for sure. So yeah, Nathan, Newcastle 1, Aston Villa 1. What did you make of this game?
Well, it really shows that Aston Villa are struggling without Jack Grealish. I've seen like a completely different team, to be honest. And Newcastle lucky to scrape a point there. They've got to keep this up, especially if they want to keep this run going and keep away from that bottom three until the end of the season. But to be honest, when it gets to that Newcastle versus Brighton game, whoever loses that game is in the relegation fight. And quite frankly, whoever actually wins that game is essentially staying up at this point. Like, they're not going to be chased by the likes of West Brom, Fulham, Sheffield United, and then the other team there, Brighton or Newcastle. So either way, good point for Newcastle. Everyone in Geordieland is going to be happy about that. But questions to be asked to Aston Villa, they need to get their heads down and work out a system that they can produce without Jack Grealish and for them to get on a good run.
Absolutely, and yeah, Newcastle fans would have been thinking when Aston Villa scored, it was an own goal by Kieran Clark, and I had to come against Aston Villa of all teams. But Jamal Lascelles, a very good header from Lascelles, a captain's goal as well. Paul, I don't think anyone predicted this result. Leeds United 0, Chelsea 0. I mean,
No,
Leeds United
that
are like a Jekyll and Hyde side, aren't they?
It was a personal disaster for me because I had about £350 running on this match as well. So
Oh
I
no!
actually tipped Chelsea just to win this one. I thought with their sort of their prowess at set piece play up against this Leeds defence, I thought they'd get at least a goal in it. But I think Bamford went off in that match as well. So I think both teams as well hit the bar, but surprisingly, Leeds didn't concede. They get a
Miracle.
point. Chelsea still remain in Champions League spot as well. I think, what are they on, 51 points? Manchester United did them a favour by beating West Ham, of course, yesterday. So, not too much of a difference, really, in where they are in the table now. So, yeah, I was disappointed that Chelsea didn't get the full 3 points in that match. But Leeds, no danger of going down this season, are they? So, that's all they can really ask for the first season back in the Premier League.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was a very, very strange game. But to be fair, Leeds did play very well in that game, and Chelsea a bit fortunate to get away with a point. In all honesty, Reece, Russell, Crystal Palace 1, West Brom 0. Probably the most predictable result of the weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. In my opinion, it's the two most boring teams in the league, bar Burnley. Because Sheffield United don't even count as a football club at the moment. Neither do Leeds. Fuck them. But yeah, predictable result. Hodgson, he does like a cheeky 1-0 win, even if it's against Brighton. Good result for Crystal Palace as well, because it's one that they need. I think Brighton are a little bit let down. They're playing good football, but they don't convert chances into anything. So as far as I'm concerned, if they end up going down, I still think it's going to be Newcastle. I think Newcastle are going to get relegated on the final day. I think they'll lose 3-0 to Fulham. So there's a spoiler. I genuinely see Newcastle going down, but as far as I'm concerned, they should have a fourth, and they should put Brighton down with them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll back that.
I mean that game of the weekend, Brighton Newcastle, is going to be so huge, so huge. Jack Mack, Everton 1, Burnley 2.
I was made up you've mentioned this match for me, lads.
Is Everton's home form costing them this season?
It has always been the case. Like, I've got quite a lot of blue mates anyway. I know the stick they give us about losing to Fulham, and now look what happened. Getting beat at home against Fulham. But yeah, Ancelotti won't be happy at all. When the pressure has been mounting over the last couple of seasons, when I've watched them from an outside point of view, the home fans have, obviously pre-COVID, before COVID hit, it was always a tricky run of form. They always used to play well away from home, and it just used to be that consistent level of performance at Goodison Park. But obviously, that is, I tell you, if they don't manage to get top four, or if Chelsea, a couple of teams do miss out on top four, we're not going to get top four, but if we are allowed to get into top four, Liverpool, it'd be a deeply disappointing season from like the Chelsea, Everton, or whoever lets us back in. But yeah, they should have sealed that top four spot by now, considering the advantages they have had. But deeply disappointing, and it's very concerning if it does continue to happen. Obviously, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he was injured for a couple of weeks prior. He's a big player. I tell you, if they take away Big Dom out of that team, I think they'd be very much really struggling at the top end of that pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. But Rhys Bish, you have to say, what a goal from Dwight McNeil.
Yeah, I was watching that game, and I was doing a review on the Swans Luton game at the time. And I just looked on my screen, he sends Alan back to Napoli, and just in top bins, and he what a goal from McNeil. What a goal that was. Yeah.
It's always good to watch a former academy player dent one in a Merseyside team. It's always good.
Yeah, basically, Merseyside isn't red, Merseyside isn't blue, Merseyside is Burnley. Because Burnley have gone to both Anfield and Goodison Park and won, which is mental, absolutely mental. I mean, I don't think anyone would have predicted that at the start of the season. But yeah, as you say, Jack, if you take Dominic Calvert-Lewin out that team, who have you got? You've got Richarlison, you've got Bernard, You've got Iwobi, who wasn't the best of the weekend either, but Everton's home form is very, very interesting.
I've been disappointed with Richarlison, mate. I don't know how anyone else feels. I struggle to analyse, and yes, the amount of times he gets caught offside between the lines is quite frightening. Like you'd think he was a Sunday League player. The amount of times, yes, that's his game getting in behind, but it's this season it's been shocking, especially watching on Match of the Day. And when he played us, he got the goal, which was great for them. But it's concerning if they do keep hold of him. Obviously, Gomez in midfield. I think they have missed heavily. Allen in that middle of the park. Anyway, he was playing very well prior to him getting injured. I think he was one of the signs of the season, especially a good import from the Italian league. Carlo, but I think once they've not had him, Tom Davies hasn't really translated that. He's not on the level of an Allen or a Gomez. No discredit to him, but he's not good enough to tie the laces of those midfielders. Sigurdsson, I know Ryan and Tom do like to give him a bit of stick, but he's probably been the one player that has crept up in a couple of weeks. Like he gets the odd goal here and there and the assist, but yeah, they have. If they miss out on top four, I think Carlo will be very disappointed come the back end of this season.
They're looking at Adams for next season as a right back, so they're looking at least heavily. They want to start spending. As far as I'm concerned, the best way to sum up Everton is they're a good side, but they've massively underachieved. For the amount of money they've spent, they should be at least a couple of points off the top four. They're actually quite embarrassing, like to watch at times. Like you've got one of football's greatest ever managers, and they're playing like a Sam Allardyce team. At times, it's just not convincing enough. Like they really need to step things up. Next season, they need to bring in the right players. There's some people that have to go. They definitely need a new centre back. They need a new goalkeeper because, frankly, you've got one with arms that are very tiny. You can't trust, and you've got Olsen, who is irrelevant anyway. And I'll be surprised in midfield as well because some of their midfielders got to go. Like some of that midfield is absolutely ridiculous. I don't think the 4-4-2 suits them. I don't think a 4-3-3 suits them. I think they need to look into that. Like, there's so many holes for Everton, and it's a shame because Everton are a good side to watch when they actually turn up.
Yeah, definitely. Anthony, I'll give you this one. Leicester City 5, Sheffield United 0. I mean, honestly, I could only see a 2-0 in this game. But my goodness me, your boy Iheanacho, he's on fire right now, isn't he?
Yeah, and it's funny because I was tweeting before the game. I wasn't confident at all. Everything was in our favour of like the fact we've never lost to Sheffield United in the Premier League. The fact they just lost their manager, bottom of the Premier League, and I was like, this has got an upset written all over it. So the fact that we managed to go and get a 5-0 win, absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, I have to say I was very impressed with the way Jamie Vardy played that game. Yes, he didn't get a goal, but you could actually see his link-up play with Iheanacho. I thought he was very, very good. He had obviously 2 assists and he had a hand in the 5th goal. That was an own goal. Obviously, the big elephant in the room, folks. Chris Wilder. What have we? I mean, Nathan, I'll come to you first. What do you make of Chris Wilder leaving Sheffield United?
Absolute disgrace. I mean, going from him to Paul Heckingbottom, yes, he is a decent coach, if that. And I'm sorry, but Jason Tyndall, he did have a poor time at Bournemouth, you could say, underachieved there. But he's a great assistant manager, especially under Eddie Howe as well. But personally, I would have kept with Chris Wilder to the end of the season because it's obvious that Heckingbottom's going to go at the end of the year. They're probably going to get someone not good enough in championship-wise. They have to change the full philosophy, especially if they're coming away from Wilder ball. And I think it's going to be a complete disaster from next year. I don't think it'll be Sunderland levels of disaster, but I think they could be very well be mid-table in the championship when they get relegated.
Nathan's sticking the knife in the coffin already.
You've got to be brutal with these things.
Paul, your thoughts?
Yeah, they left it late, didn't they? If they were going to get rid of him, I'd have got rid of him earlier in the season. But them going down to the championship now, and they are going to be going down, I would have kept him for next season because he knows the championship. They would have had a good crack at it next season. There would have been probably personnel changes on the pitch, etc., for the championship. But they pulled the trigger too late, I think. So But
Reece Russell.
yeah.
To be honest, I have said on a previous show that I didn't think he would last till the end of the season. I said I was conflicted. I did say I was conflicted for opinion because I said I think he will stay at the end of the season, but the way things were going, I think my exact words were, I don't think it'll last much longer. But it's a shame, really. But I think, in all fairness, I think it's the right decision at the wrong time. I think Wilder is Sheffield United through and through. So
yeah,
we'll give him where credit's due. I'm pretty sure he's a former player as well. Former player and then became a manager. He's worked his way up through the club, so fair play to him. And he's got the club to the Premier League. But there were some things that went wrong. First of all, he got the team suited into the season. The first season they were brilliant to watch. They were hard to break down, but they were slightly more on the defensive side. I was expecting season 2 to be a little bit more on the front foot, a little bit more energy. There was none of that. And I understand COVID's been a problem, so it's interesting when COVID's involved, and you've got to look into that. But even if you look at their depth, there wasn't very many additions to the squad that you could say this is a Premier League side. So as far as I'm concerned, going down was inevitable.
Yeah.
I mean, they brought in Ramsdale as a goalkeeper. It says it all. I feel for him. We'll see where he goes. I actually think he might end up at Palace or Newcastle, and I think Eddie Howe will be at the other job. That's what I think. Whichever one Wilder goes to, Eddie Howe will go to the other one.
Yeah. I will say one thing though, guys, is do you remember when a few seasons back when Huddersfield, we all said that they wouldn't sack what's his name? David Wagner. David Wagner. We all said they wouldn't sack him throughout the season. He was too much of a club legend. With what he'd done from that club, taken from the lower end of the Championship after they just come up from League One into the Premier League, and then just keeping them up with the squad they had was absolutely spectacular, and he can get them back up again. But they pulled the trigger, brought in that guy from, where is it, Borussia Dortmund. It's gone out my head again.
Oh, Jan Sievert.
Jan Sievert, yes.
Oh, please don't go there.
Yeah. Absolutely terrible. Sacked him in the Championship, and look where they are now. Still struggling, if you know what I mean. But go on.
He's the worst Huddersfield manager ever. I think he's got a 4.28% win rate as Huddersfield manager.
The problem is as well is like Huddersfield aren't just like. I know this might sound like a bit of banter here because obviously you've got like say Nathan, you've got Reece as well, like clubs that are fans of sport clubs in the Championship, but like. Huddersfield have won the old First Division. Like they have been the top flight English.
Though, Reece.
True, it's very true. But they have been top flight champions, so they have that historical pedigree. It's not a side you would want to be there.
Just to answer a question from Jamie Gretton, Lee Bowyer to Sheffield United. I think I shared this with Nathan earlier. I believe Lee Bowyer is going to Birmingham City.
Yeah, I viewed that as well. That as well.
But I did hear different reports earlier in the day as well, just before this news came out, that Neil Harris was favoured for the job, but apparently he's going to Portsmouth now.
Neil Harris, I think.
Yes.
I think Tyndall's being looked for the Portsmouth job as well. I've seen.
Yeah, I can't see
There's so many there, though. There's so many. As far as I'm like, whoever gets either job, they just need to remember like, there's clubs in the Championship that've got more history than clubs in the Premier League.
Absolutely.
There's some of them that have more history. Huddersfield have got more history than Man City. Just rub that in there. Just to stick a salt in Pete's wound. I'm just as far as that. But it makes you wonder about where clubs have got to go, and it's a shame. I agree with what's been said so far about Wilder. Who knows? He might come north of the border. He might come up here. You never know. But what I will say is, he's a manager you don't want to be kept out of the game too long because he's like Sean Dyche. His football's crap. His football's crap, but he's a likeable human being. The difference is Wilder actually plays good football, and he's also a likeable human being.
Yeah, Jack. I mean, obviously, we were on a stream on Sunday, and the look on your face was a picture when the news was announced that Wilder was going. Like, what have you had time to think about it?
It's absolute suicide, mate. I don't know what people at the top of these clubs expect. Honestly, it really they give them basically pennies to spend in the window and expected miracles. Yes, Norwich coming to the Premier League always get relegated, but they always bounce back. And considering what he's done for the club over the last 2 to 3 years, from where he's took them from back into the Premier League, he's got enough credit in the bank for, yes, get relegated, but the season in which he had the previous year, fantastic. They blew up the Premier League, and it'd be interesting to see if Leeds are exactly the same, exploded onto the scene, and then teams figured out how they play. Yes, Sheffield have been absolutely shocking this season, but it's a budget and the way in which he played his football, he couldn't really adapt it. Seems to like Klopp as well this season. Managers sometimes get found out and they need resources to really experiment. He was... It's crazy, mate. The people running some football clubs, I tell you, there will be no short of Sousas down there in the Championship and even League One, even a Sunderland, get him in, get Wilder in, and then get them back into the Premier League. Because if I was a director of football at one of these clubs, I'd be knocking on the door of Wilder straight away, mate. Get him into the club, back him as a manager as well. But yeah, as the lads have already said, there's a lot of massive clubs in the Championship that want to get back into the Premier League or even League One. But yeah, I tell you, I was absolutely fuming, mate, because I've got a couple of Sheffield United mates as fans, and they've been on a magic journey over the last 12 months in the Premier League, and you weren't expecting that. You were expecting, yes, relegation this season and just trying to stay up, but he was left with pennies really to spend. I don't know what some directors of football expect from some managers.
Yeah, Rhys Bish, your thoughts on Wilder?
It's an interesting one. I don't think you can complain about money because, he bought Zanderberg for like 25 million, Ryan Brewster 20 odd million, McBurney 20 million. So he had the finances there. Ramsdale another 15 million. So, the owners kind of backed him in financial. Look at West Brom, for example. Sam Allardyce has had pennies to deal with. So compare the two clubs, Sam Allardyce has had nothing. Wells had, the funds, but it's the wrong decision for me. I think they made the wrong signings. Brewster done a championship level with us. I think the step to the Premier League was a questionable one anyway when they had McGoldrick, McBurney, other players like Ollie Burke as well. I think they should have got defensive reinforcements, to be honest, because, it's going to be harder to keep that defensive record. So I think they made the wrong signings. And similar to what Jack was saying about Norwich, Norwich kept Daniel Farker. Now look at them, still top of the league. They're going to go to the Premier League next year. And, they're going to struggle because, like Nathan said, they're going to have to change the system completely because there's not many managers who play Chris Wilder, the style of play. So they're going to have to probably sell a few players. They're going to have to get a new manager. It could disrupt the squad. You could have some sour apples in there. So, like Nathan said, I think Sheffield United might struggle next season because Chris Wilder... all the players there have basically played under Chris Wilder and signed him. There's no one before Chris Wilder at the club. So it's gonna be really interesting.
Spot on.
Do you reckon Wilder signed those players? Because I couldn't envision when Sheffield come in for Brewster. I was a bit surprised. Yeah, it was a lot of money, but he's not a Wilder type player, is he? McBurney, probably one of the worst strikers I've seen in the Premier League.
How do we feel? He plays for our country.
Yeah. The only best batsman was when he had that beard, but I think has he got rid of that now or something?
He has.
I think what he tried doing with Brewster was that little man, target man. The strikers they had McGoldrick, McBurney, they're a bit of target man, not the quickest, and maybe they were trying that tall man, little man Brewster with the pace, but it just hasn't worked. He hasn't had too many opportunities off the bench, but I just think he's so young. I think another season in the Championship, and they were in January they're already relegated, so I just don't understand why they couldn't loan him to us to help us out a little bit. But I think if he stays Sheffield United next season, he'll probably be one of the top scorers.
Spot on.
Probably. Anthony, we feel for our friends over at Sheffield United Way. Obviously, Nick and Hal. What was your reaction to that news?
To be honest, not surprised but disappointed because their owners seem so out of touch with sort of what their club is. When you talk to most of their fans, all their fans, despite how poor they've been this season, wanted him to stay and thought that he was the man to rebuild them in the Championship. But because the whole club's built around Chris Wilder, and there's not another Chris Wilder sort of available, so to speak. So it seems completely illogical. They backed him in terms of building the structure of the club around him to then get rid of him.
Yeah. Okay. So Connor has asked, where do we think Chris Wilder will go next? Right. Jack Mack, where do you think he's going?
Oh, oh, it could be anyone. I don't know who needs managers down there in the Championship, I'm being honest. Go for Birmingham, or have they got a manager? I'm not too sure. Lee Boat, is he going? Yeah. But just one of the big boys.
Lee Boat,
really.
yeah.
A team that's like underachieving in Championship that has got obviously aspirations and got slightly bigger of a budget, possibly. But as I said, a lot of teams down there. Anyone really? If I was I can imagine them trying to re-sign him in a couple of years when they're still sat in the Championship and they'll come back. But I'm not too sure. It would surprise you. It's like you split up with your girlfriend, you get back with it in a couple of weeks after. But yeah, but I'm not too sure. I go with Birmingham, mate. I'm not too sure in the Championship.
Right, Rhys Russell.
Nah, he's dead. He's not going to a Championship club. Nah, I reckon he'll be you either come north of the border and manage that lot, like it's on the other side of Ibrox, or he'll manage either Crystal Palace or Newcastle. He'll manage one of those three. That shit tip at Parkhead, or he'll manage Crystal Palace or Newcastle. I don't see him at a Championship club. I think he's too good for the Championship.
Nathan and Paul?
I think he's going north of the border to Celtic, unfortunately, Reece. I don't think he'll step down to the Championship. And personally, with the state of Newcastle, I don't think they'll back him as much. And I can't see that team working for him. And then Crystal Palace, the second that Roy Hodgson leaves, they're getting relegated. I don't know what happens with that.
I reckon Eddie Howe will probably get the Palace job, to be honest.
Yeah, he's going to Palace. But
similar system, it makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think he can keep him up, though. The second that Roy goes, I don't know how on earth he keeps them in that league, but they are getting relegated next year.
Magic, innit? Don't know what he does.
Magic.
Performance enhancers, probably. I don't know.
Just sits there in his room, rubbing his face on the touchline.
I've actually got something to announce, guys. That's going to proper shock you in a second. The Dinamo Zagreb manager has been sentenced to a 4 years and 8 months sentence in prison.
Wow.
Oh, what's that for? What do you learn?
That's actually very close.
Oh,
he's been sent. So he's got a 4 years, 8 months 8 months prison sentence for tax evasion. But Dinamo Zagreb, on the eve of the Europa League games, etc., have decided not to confirm whether they're sacking him or not as a sentenced person. So he's still technically the club's manager, even though he's going in the mick.
What's he going to be on tag on the touchline or something with a ball and chain?
That's a body.
He's going to be on Daily or something every weekend.
No idea, but yeah, the Zagreb manager, he is going to prison.
Yeah. Someone's just answered asked the question here. Roy Keane to Celtic. That seems to be doing the rounds recently. I mean, what do we think about that? I honestly don't see that at all.
I don't see him coming back to management. Like the last time he managed a football club, I think it was Ipswich or something, and it was a bloody disaster. Like his management record is horrible.
He'd have to have his minder with him, wouldn't he, Martin O'Neill? So
even when he was assistant manager at Forest a few years back, he was still causing trouble and stuff. He had a few yellow cards, a few red cards. So yeah, he's just not a very good manager assistant. He's more of a
as a Man United fan, he's a fucking legend on the field, but as a manager, terrible. But I love him as a pundit. Yeah. Like he's genius. Like,
he's hilarious as a pundit.
He's box office on the TV. I don't think it just translates to
Micah Richards. Him and Micah Richards is just the perfect combo.
It's a perfect love story that we're all needing, isn't it?
Roy Keane's on social media now, isn't he?
He's on Instagram. Eventually, him and Michael will make it to TikTok, and they'll do their own TikTok channel together.
Oh Jesus!
The Michael and Keane show.
Dear. Yeah, there's a few people saying that Wilder will end up at Newcastle or Palace. Rumours here apparently Keane and Damien Duff to Celtic.
It's the first I've heard of Damien Duff, but as a manager link to Celtic. I think that's an oddball situation.
About Chris Wilder, I've got a feeling he's going to rejoin Sheffield United. I don't know why. I've just got a feeling he's like in the summer, like I reckon something's going to happen with the ownership because all the fans like really hate the owners. I think he'll probably sell the club and then Wild will come back in. So I'm just putting it out there. I reckon Chris Wild.
That's bold.
He'll probably just stay in his car all summer, just be like, just waiting for my keys, waiting for the door to open.
Just waiting.
One club you can rule him out. One club you can rule out is Sheffield Wednesday. So I think he'd be
absolutely. Not only that, they're going to be in League One next season anyway. So
that would be priceless.
Yeah, that would be very, very interesting for sure. Right, let's go on to the other games. Rhys Bish, will give you this one. Fulham 0, Manchester City 3. They're just too good, aren't they?
Yeah, really good side. They've got, to be fair, they've won the league, but they've still got to go out there and win the game. So, got to give credit to Guardiola to keeping the players motivated because they could easily just keep their eyes on the Carabao Cup final, the FA Cup, the Champions League. So. Credit to them. For Fulham, they did well for 45 minutes, keeping it 0-0. Not many sides do that in the Premier League, keeping it to 0-0. But, City's quality just shone through, John Stones scoring again. He's had a great season. And then Jesus came back on the score sheet. Aguero, hasn't had much minutes this season. Really comes on, gets a penalty. But Fulham did well to keep it, 3-0. Quite respectable. But Fulham, I think they could start again a lot of draws. They needed to start turning them draws into wins. Like they had a great winner at Everton a few weeks back, and then they just kind of thing. So they need to go on a little bit of a run because Newcastle, yes, they're not on the great form, but they got the players there. Steve Bruce is he's still a better manager than Scott Parker, in my opinion, because he's been there and done it. Scott Parker's still a bit young, and I think he just needs to like tweak his tactics a little bit because he's thinking these 1 points are good enough, but you've got to get 3 points sometimes. So Man City, they're going to win the league. They got Borussia Mönchengladbach in a few days. So fair play to Man City, but Fulham, for the first 45 minutes, I was pretty impressed by their defensive performance.
Yeah, I think to be fair, like we all said at the start of the season, like when Fulham lost 3-0 to Arsenal, we all said, "Oh, Fulham are going down. Fulham, this is probably going to be like the worst team ever." But to be fair, Scott Parker has done something about that defence, and they've actually looked pretty sound. As long as it's not the jackets that Scott Parker wears, let's put it that way. A massive 3 points, Anthony. Southampton 1, Brighton 2. Massive 3 points for the Seagulls, wasn't it? Oh.
Wait, your mic's muted.
Is he muted? Anthony?
Yeah, I'm muted, Anthony.
I think he's sitting in the stars.
Oh, sorry. I thought you could hear me.
Oh, sorry. We were just... Yeah, I can hear you now. We were just saying Southampton 1, Brighton 2. Massive win for the Seagulls.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh no. Nathan, massive win for Brighton, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Did surprise me a little bit. Didn't really surprise me considering how bad Southampton have been recently, but Brighton, they've got to keep this run going unless they want to get relegated, quite frankly, because at the moment, with the likes of Newcastle hovering around that area and Potter, that Brighton football just doesn't convince me for Potter. Not the right club for him, I think. But yes, he's done well for him, but he suits a side more like Swansea, I should say. That'll impress Reece a little bit. Or someone who plays that correct, fluid, attacking, nice, really pretty style of football that so certain people like to watch.
I mean, they had Gary Monk as a manager. They really shouldn't be talking about managers, right?
Yeah.
He was with Paul though. No, like Brighton, every game they play well. They just don't finish the chances. They just don't finish the chances.
Absolutely, they don't have. Well, you could say they have Mopé for like their out and out goal scorer. I mean, he was a superb at Brentford, but they're just not creating enough, and they're not getting enough goals in the net. But they got to go on this run now if they want to stay up. Really, they are in that battle, but they just got to wait and see if Fulham bottle it in a way. West Brom, no way, but we got to wait and see on this one, really. I got a feeling they're going to stay another year. Graham Potter, somehow I'll keep him in the Prem probably next year and forever in eternity as well, until he goes to a bigger club, of course. But I think this is probably the end of the season for Brighton. They're safe pretty much.
Can we literally just copy this comment like so many times? West Brom are embarrassing. Should have kept Bilic. Yes,
Absolutely.
I agree.
100%. 100%.
And going back to the comment about Parker and Fulham getting relegated, I've never seen them getting relegated at all. I've said all season they're staying up, and they're going to prove me right very soon.
What's James Dunlop said? Say have us on Saturday in the cup. Could be a rugby score with the way we are. Oh jeez. Hope not. Hope not. But you never know. The goose. I think I pronounced this right. Hello, the Goozy. Hope you're doing well.
Doug, enjoy your comment section. They're just going to go exploding now.
Newcastle, I reckon, Seamus. Bruce is lucky to be in a job at the moment. Yeah, absolutely. Swansea and Cardiff should play the Wales national anthem.
Here we go. Here we go.
What are you on about, the Guzzy? There's only a few Welsh players for both of the clubs. They're not all Welsh.
I think it's between Newcastle and Burnley.
I said Newcastle and Burnley started.
Not Burnley.
I said Newcastle and Burnley start the season, and they're both proving how crap they are. I think it's going to be Newcastle. I think final day 3-0 Fulham. Newcastle drop in on the final day.
If Bailey didn't get the result against Everton, I think maybe, but I think that 3 points would be way massive.
I think they're up now.
Yeah,
I think Burnley are fine now.
I give up with this.
Oh, dearie me. Let's go to one of the games of the weekend. It was the North London derby. Arsenal winning by 2-1. But let's be honest, Arsenal absolutely battered, and I mean battered, Tottenham. It was domination from start to finish. And then, yes, we can all talk about the Rabona goal from Lamela. It was absolutely fantastic. But that's the one thing he will not be remembered for. Well, the one thing he will be remembered for is his 2 yellow cards in 7 minutes. I mean, Rhys Russell. I mean, you have to say that Lamela should have been sent off Old Trafford. Karma's come back to him, isn't it?
He's a dirty bastard. Like, to put it the nicest way possible. Like, you can. The good thing about me in this show is I don't have a bleep machine. Like, honest to God, like, I'll give credit where credit's due. That was a fantastic finish, the Rabona goal, but he should have been sent off at Old Trafford. You can't just send off Martial for nothing and then you let Lamela go scot-free. So frankly, it was good to get a little bit of just desserts and watch the clown walk off the pitch. There was no need for the second yellow card for what he did. There was no need for that at all. He really needs to keep his temper in check. That the one thing is Mourinho likes a bit of fight in his players, so you just know that he's going to get massively rewarded by Mourinho. Even though he got sent off, he will be proud of that because he likes a little bit of grit in his team. Yeah, but yeah, Tottenham were. I watched the game back because I generally couldn't be watching it at the time. I just could not be bothered. But I watched it back, and I'll give credit to Arsenal's due. Like, they played very well. Lacazette should have scored early in the first half. I think that was quite a poor chance, to be honest, like wasted. Some of the Arsenal team was quite interesting as well, but what I will say is like they really need to spend in the summer. Good game, but like it is when it comes to a derby, but you could be in really shit form, but when it comes to a derby, form goes out the window.
Yeah, Paul, I mean, Arteta made a big decision at the start of the game for dropping Aubameyang, but they didn't miss him, did they?
No, it certainly worked out for them, didn't it? And yeah, well, they took all 3 points in the end. I was surprised about Tottenham because they've been looking quite good recently after a bit of a sticky spell. Bale's been back on form finally, and that's only good for Wales. Sane went off injured, didn't he? I didn't actually catch the actual match. I think, did he go off and Lamela came on for him? Is that right? I believe, and Kane, I think he had one. Was it? Did he hit the bar or post?
Post in like the last couple.
Eddie Hearn, get it sorted.
Apart from that, but Arsenal thoroughly deserved the victory, taking all 3 points, and they've got the bragging rights now in North London. So, yeah, fair play to them.
Jack, Mack, Harry Kane's in the headlines again. Wasn't really in the game yesterday, in all honesty, but that movement he does with his arms he's going to injure someone, isn't he?
Oh, he's already just come back from a lengthy spell from actually doing that exact same thing, can he? It was shocking. It's standard Harry Kane, isn't it? Well, he's the press. He's the English sweetheart, isn't he? So not a bad word can be said about him in the press. So if it was a Salad or it was another foreign player, I think you'd be reading headlines just because it's Harry Kane and he's untouchable, really. But yeah, shocking display from him from a personal point of view. I think he was, since the combination of him and Son this season being fantastic, but it didn't really translate. Soon as Son went off, there was nothing really there. And I think Jose Mourinho, I think they were like 20, 30 minutes in and didn't even have a shot on target. Classic Jose wanting to hit on the counter-attack. But I think Tottenham are in a crossroads. You know the standard of football. Man United had it with Jose when he was in charge. There's a brand that is attached to Jose, and I don't know what Tottenham wants. Will they persist with this negativity of dull football, or would he go with a possible another manager wanting to play more an expressive, expansive football? I think
Tottenham want instant success. That's all you get from Mourinho. Instant success, but then it fades away. Spurs fans having the same conversations United fans had 3 years ago. Like, yeah, he'll win you something, but when was the last time he left a club in a very good shape? I can't remember.
I agree with Seamus. I absolutely agree with that. Tierney deserves a captain's armband.
I don't think Tierney's the answer for the Arsenal captaincy. Not for me, but he is a good shout.
James Dunlop says that Aubameyang should not be the Arsenal captain. He isn't captain material, and I absolutely agree with him.
He cares more for his Lamborghinis, doesn't he, on his YouTube channel?
I know he's slightly injury prone. But to be honest, I give Thomas Partey the Arsenal captain's armband over Tierney. Like Tierney, what did he do at Celtic? Like, yeah, he won trophies, but what did he actually physically do in that team? He wasn't a leader. He was just involved.
He wasn't a bad
No, he
captain.
wasn't bad. I'm not saying that at all. But like, I don't think he is. I don't think Tierney is captain material at all. I don't think he's got it in him to be a leader. I think he's more of a player that can enforce what the captain's saying. I think he's like that as a person, but I don't think he's good enough to be a captain. I think if Arsenal want to progress, I'd maybe consider Partey. The only problem is if you put Tierney or Partey as captain, it's the injury record. Like Tierney's not had much good luck with injuries. Neither's Partey, so that means you're stuck with Aubameyang, who had a very poor record, which got him dropped. The only other option is maybe you put in Lacazette, and to be fair, is he going to get the captain's armband? Hell no. So frankly, do Arsenal need a captain, or do Arsenal just need leaders? There's the question.
I'm not sure if any of you don't know why Aubameyang got dropped, but apparently Aubameyang got dropped because he was late for a few meetings. That's the reason why.
Probably went for a haircut.
Yeah, changed his Lambo colour.
About Tierney though, I'm not sure if any of you've seen like the red card, but for Tierney, who goes around himself as a hard man, shorts in the snow, do you see how soft he went down? He didn't even touch his face, Lamela. It was like his neck, and he goes down like that. It's like, you know, he labels himself as this hard man, and he goes down like, of course you want the opponent to get sent off, but
it was unfortunate, but you could actually see the arm movement from Lamela. It was stupid. It was very, very stupid. He actually could have been sent off for a similar tackle. I think it was a tackle on Partey. I think it was Partey, and he was so late. Like, I was really surprised that the referee let him off for that one. But yeah, he has a bit of a hothead, Lamela. I think that's an understatement there. Shane O'Donnell's come up with a very good point. Kane has to leave Tottenham if they want to win trophies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they could win a trophy next month against Man City, so that could be.
He's the next Alan Shearer.
He could win the Carabao Cup because they're in the final night, but that's gonna be hard one.
I think Kane's the next Shearer. I think he's not going to leave Tottenham. It's his boyhood club. I think he's just going to be interested in being their top goal scorer. I think he'll want to be a top goal scorer and then try to break Greaves' record. I don't see him winning. I don't think he'll win any trophies. If he wins anything at Tottenham, it'll probably be another pre-season trophy. That'll be it.
Go on, Doug.
Yeah, Nathan, one of the players that Spurs badly don't need injured is Sean Min Song. and he's gone off with a hamstring injury. How costly could that be for Spurs?
That's going to be a massive detrimental to them, especially considering how badly Gareth Bale played at the weekend. But if that's just one blip of a game from him, and he can keep up the form that he's been generating the last few weeks, then maybe it'll have less of an impact. But they're going to struggle for the rest of the season now, I think, personally.
Interesting.
So when the golf courses are opening up soon, so we'd be more interested in that one.
They're already open here,
back
mate.
to the Premier League for 1 year. I hope he comes back to the Premier League next season. I hope he's at the Premier League for one more season, and he just says that, you know what, I'm done with football after that.
He knows where to come.
I just saw this.
He can come here for 1 year if he wants.
No.
He played well against, Bale played well.
He won the Premier League with Blackburn, but he never won anything with Tottenham, with Newcastle.
No.
Yeah,
go on, Reece.
I was going to say, Bale's attitude against Arsenal yesterday was just shambolic, walking around the pitch. And then when he gets substituted, not even looking at Mourinho, like, I'm not surprised he's taking it off. You were awful. It's all right playing against Burnley, Palace, doing any Europa League. But the big games, Northern and Derby, the pressure's on. He just didn't look bothered. And it's so disappointing to me. So disappointing.
Seamus Moore says, Spurs need to get rid of Mourinho if they have any chance of progressing as a club. Yeah. I would absolutely agree.
I'm going to be quite controversial. I don't think they need to move Mourinho on. And the reason I'm saying that is Mourinho, if you look at what he did with Inter Milan, they're still a big club, but obviously they were an aging club. You look at what he did with Porto, he likes an underdog team. He likes to be the underdog because you see how he thrives. So I think if he really got what he wanted at Tottenham, if he got what he really wanted, that's just too funny.
I'm sorry.
Just don't.
Bale's more likely to be in the Ryder Cup than playing consistently. Oh, dear.
He would be in the Ryder Cup. He'd be riding at the sunset. I'll grab my coat. But yeah, so I genuinely think if Mourinho got what he properly wanted at Tottenham, because he likes an underdog type side, I think he could potentially win something. I think some of those players in that team are frankly too comfortable for Tottenham that they should be moved on. I think that's what's holding them back.
Wishful thinking, Yeti boy. Wishful thinking. And the final game to talk about is Manchester United 1, West Ham 0. Now, it was a goal from Dawson own goal. Reece, I mean, 1-0. Fair play. You did predict the actual scoreline. It wasn't the best of games, though, was it?
Nah, it was boring. But I'll take it. I'd rather win 1-0 than lose 1-0 anyway. So I'll take it. It was not the first half was really boring. There was not much in it. I think the only good thing about that entire first half is no one got seriously injured, because there could have been 2 injuries in that first half. Jared Bowen could have seriously injured his leg. Yeah. And obviously you had Maguire, who was trying to headbutt something, but ended up headbutting an arm, which was funny. That actually made my day. But on the negative side is it could have been serious injuries. Obviously, I'm not wishing injury. It's just it was just fun. Yeah. The second half, there was more in it. United getting a very early goal in the second half. I'm actually surprised we scored from a set piece, even if it was an own goal. I'm genuinely surprised, but there were some parts of that game that weren't right. Rashford, for me, should not have started. He's clearly not in the best of health at the moment. He shouldn't.
Did not look match fit at all. No,
I would have started Ahmad. Personally, I would have started Ahmad. What's he got to prove to get a start? Obviously, Van de Beek's injured, so you can't really comment on him not starting a game, but he's there, he's in the squad. I would have played him, but it's the manager's decision. If Rashford had got injured, he would have been slated everywhere, especially with the second leg on Thursday. So we'll see what happens, but 1-0 win, still second in the league. Take it from there, and we'll see Leicester on the weekend.
Yeah, and Paul, as much as David Moyes has been getting plaudits this season, it's his record against the top 6. He's kind of fluffed his lines a wee bit away from home. What did you make of Moyes' tactics yesterday?
How did they play? I didn't actually see the game.
Very defensive.
I actually heard they parked the bus, didn't they? They didn't really want to attack or or
0
anything
shots
like
on
that.
target.
They went for to come away with a point really in the end, didn't they? And I think 0-0 would have done them well. But I think I heard a few West Ham fans saying that why didn't they just go out and attack Man United? But they didn't, of course. So
Yeah.
But I think this season, what are they in 5th position at the moment? If they can keep in those European spots, 5th, 6th, then that's going to be still a very good season for them. Maybe they can recruit in the summer and push on possibly to that top 4 next year.
Yeah. Our good friend Ali the Eagle has just come in. Ben Rama, no
He's
Premier League
landed.
goals under Moyes. Not like him to try and ruin a Flair winger. Zaha, anyone?
The Eagle has landed, and he's certainly got right there in the spot.
Oh, he's not going to start Ahmad yet. Imagine if he had a mayor, says Hella. Yeah.
She makes a fair point. She makes a fair point.
After the City game, I'm not sure why West Ham set up so defensively. Yeah, absolutely. You're so boring to watch in these games. This is a good comment. If Hull did not sell Bowen and Grozicki 8th to 24th, that's a very very good good comment. Someone's asked if I'm going to watch the Wolves Liverpool game. I will watch the second half. So I will stay on here and watch, and obviously you guys can keep me updated as well. Hella says Moyes boys had the first shot on or near target in the 60th minute. Says it all. Played a back 6. Yeah, Hodgson for England. Palace pushing for top 10. Hashtag Roy Ball.
Yeah, I'm sure England can take him back, and then they'll just be as bad as they are under Southgate, and they would definitely lose to Scotland at Wembley. I'm all for it.
Oh Jesus Christ! I do not even want that image in my head, but I don't know. I'm off to watch the game now. Take care, everyone. Thank you, Seamus. Thank you.
I don't think he's had one goal. I think he's had multiple, but we'll say that for a different story.
Fred is shite. See why we need Declan Rice now. Well,
I'm not keen on Declan Rice at all. I don't
know.
Him.
Yeah, I know.
I don't rate him.
Just another Harry Maguire over-inflated price.
Yeah. I just generally don't think he's good enough.
Right. The biggest game in South Wales is upon us. It is Swansea City against Cardiff City. Right.
We are definitely going on mute.
Few facts for you. Cardiff's last win against Swansea was 2013. Stephen Cocker winner. And the last time Cardiff won at Swansea was 2011. Craig Bellamy. So,
absolute worldie, may I add. Beautiful strike.
So, Rhys Bish, how are you feeling about going into this one?
Pretty confident, to be honest. We've got good home form this season. Last week we played Cardiff. I think Nathan and Paul will agree with this. We absolutely battered them for the whole 90 minutes. They just didn't have a lock in. They've not scored in a couple of games under new managers. Neil Harris in 2 games against us didn't score. They've not scored against us in, I think it's 4 consecutive games. We've got a really good record.
8 years.
8 years. An interesting fact is no side have ever done the double over each other. So all teams have won twice in one season. So, it's a big opportunity for the Swans to actually, make history. Mick McCarthy is interesting in it, but I didn't need the counter play. But yeah, I'm pretty confident for it because we're going for the automatic, so I think we got quality in there. But we do have to be careful of some of Cardiff's threats.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got a big win. You got a big win on Saturday against Luton Town, which was a very to be fair, Luton have been pretty good recently, so it was a very good win to get to Kenilworth Road. However, Cardiff City agonisingly lost 2-1 to Watford. I mean, well, let's be honest. Watford did celebrate like they had won something, and they haven't won something. Nathan, it must have been so frustrating to lose in the last minute.
First of all, Keith Stroud needs to be sacked, no matter what. Absolute disgrace of a referee. It was a very iffy game. I don't think either of us really deserved to win that one. First of all, what a comment, LFC BOYA. Yeah, I mean, you were the best away fans to come to the stadium that season. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
But I think it's the new manager curse that's come in a little bit with that game. Otherwise, I think we would have had a chance.
Manager of the month, wasn't it?
Yeah, manager of the month, a new contract curse. But I don't know somehow. I really don't know, because we could have done so much better, but it's that left back role that really does still concern me. Bennett's out till October with an ACL injury. Bagan dislocated his shoulder, and then not rushing him back because he's only 18 years old.
Oh gosh!
Yeah, horrible injury it was against Huddersfield the other week. So it was a poor game, but we got to put that behind us now. Completely forget about it. Watford, great team. They're into the automatics, luckily. Which you got to take the positives out of everything, Moving on to tomorrow night against Bournemouth. No, not against. Is it against Bournemouth? No, that's your lot, isn't it?
Stoke, Nathan, tomorrow night.
We're against Stoke. I think we're going to rest a few players, especially. Well, we should really, because on Saturday is the biggest game of the season for us. I'll get on to more of it later. BBL, go ahead.
2-1 Swansea. I really don't. I don't care what the scoreline is. I just want to laugh.
I never look forward to these games. I could go to bed on Friday night and wake up on Sunday. I think. I never look forward to the derbies just because what it means. Yeah, so, not looking forward to this one at all. Especially as Rhys said about not one of the teams doing the double over the other, and if the unthinkable happens and that team down the road do come away with a victory, then it'll be unbearable because. I'm frequently in Swansea to do with work, and I know a lot of Swansea fans. So, it's not worth thinking about.
Yeah, I absolutely. Bits and Bobs then. Hello, Bits and Bobs. Hope you're doing well. That Cardiff City fan says that Smithies needs to start.
No.
What's your thought? No?
Absolutely not.
Go on, Nathan.
No, go on. Oh, okay then. Dylan Phillips has been absolutely superb recently, saving some absolutely remarkable shots. And personally, what I've seen recently is I think he's been better than Smithies throughout the season. Much better at set pieces. And I think Smithies, great backup keeper. But when you have a player like that, who has come in for a good price as well from Charlton, underappreciated keeper, we have got to keep him in that number one role, personally. I don't think we can drop him.
Rhys Bish, there was a question here from Anthony. What did you make of Dewsbury Hall on Saturday? He plays for Luton Town.
Yeah, he's very good. He got man of the match when they lost 1-0, which makes a lot of sense. Sky Sports, giving a player of the match when they didn't even score a goal. Well done, Sky. But he's very impressive. He tried creating a lot. The attack midfielder role. I believe he's on loan from Leicester, and so he's going to have a bright future. He did try causing some problems, but our defensive record was just too good. So he did try, but just couldn't get past the defensive line.
Yeah, definitely. That Cardiff City fan says 1-1 draw. I want to win versus. Come on now, behave in the comments. Behave. I did notice there was. I have been looking forward to this. I have been looking forward to this for sure. Smithy's better player, my favourite player. Yeah, that is very true. Oh, Connor, who will reach the Premier League first, Cardiff or Swansea?
Clearly, the Swans.
Well,
Cardiff can't even last the season. The Prem, they go up and they go straight back down.
Well, what about 2019? What about 2019 though? I'm not being funny, but go on.
At the moment, Swansea, they're getting all the. If you know poker, it's like they're pulling the card every time on the river. They're betting, and it's coming up. You need a king or a queen, and it's coming up every time. They're getting penalties in injury time, pretty much every match.
They deserve it
on the weekend.
Come on, no.
Eddie you Man United the championship or something with penalties and that?
Yes.
On top in the end, but they look waiting and praying.
I think your internet was going then. Here we go.
That's all right. But one midfielder that has really improved Swansea is Mr. Hourihan, Rhys Bish. What have you made of Hourihan's impact since he's been at Swansea?
His work rate is generally one of the worst I've ever seen. He literally doesn't run. So when we have him in the team, we are a lot more open because he just doesn't work as hard. But his set piece quality, he's 5 goals, a third top scorer this season, which is pretty mental. So obviously he has that quality. And after watching the Cardiff keeper Sarri playing like Carl the Dragon in goal, then I'm sure.
Oh, come on, that's low. That's low.
Well, I think we can cause Cardiff problems with set pieces, because after I'm watching their keeper Sarri, what he was doing trying to punch it, I have no idea. And then, we did all right against them at set pieces defending, and all Cardiff got set pieces. So if we can defend the set pieces, we'll be all right.
Yeah, I think that's probably his only mistake that he's made since he's come in.
Yeah.
For Smithies, I think Smithies' form was dipping a little bit prior to him. Well, he was sick in the match that he went off in, and then Phillips came in then, and he hasn't really put a foot wrong apart from which and he flapped at that goal that went in. But, with regards to set pieces, Cardiff, since Cardiff has come in, changed shape now. Prior to this, we were playing a 4 at the back. Now we're playing 5. So we've got Aidan Flint, can you believe, is actually playing pretty good, or he has been recently. So we've got 3 centre-backs who complement each other. So defensive-wise against Swansea, we should be okay, as long as they don't get a penalty. But then if we get a penalty and Phillips is involved, he saves something like 9 out of 11 penalties. So even if you get a penalty, I'm fairly confident he can save it, or it'll go past the post. But it'll be okay. It's just whether we can put something in at the other end. But Kiefer Moore's been in 5 form this season, so as long as Harry Wilson's form this season, Doug, you'll be interested in this. It's been up and down. When he's on it, he's been brilliant, but he does go missing in games, I have to say. So
I was going to ask for the lads anyway. Obviously, has he really set the championship alight? And I think
in games he has. He's been the best about him. He does chase balls down. He harries the opposition, etc. But sometimes you don't see him for long periods of the game, and he does pop up. But on free kicks he can hit them, etc. He did that. He was doing that all the time at Derby, etc. But overall, I think a little bit disappointed with Wilson this season.
He doesn't want to be there though. He admitted he wanted to join Swansea. Nathan, he admitted he wanted to join Swansea.
Where'd you see that too?
Where was that?
Because we were ahead of Cardiff for the race, but we wouldn't pay 60 grand a week, which is ridiculous, by the way, and a 1 million fee.
What? So, 60 grand a week?
Yeah,
I wouldn't even give him 20 quid.
So he wanted to play for us, but we just wouldn't pay the money. And looking at his form for Cardiff this season, I'm glad we didn't pay the money, because we've literally got Conor Horan, who's half the price, and probably scored. I think he scored already more goals than Wilson this season, which says a lot.
Bloody hell, that's not good. Rhys Russell in the corner, are you all right?
I'm just sitting chilling because, frankly, these are 2 clubs in the greatest respect to BBL, Nathan, and my Welsh compatriot. When it comes to Cardiff and Swansea, I really don't give a shit.
It's bigger than Man U Liverpool. It's bigger than Man U Liverpool.
Don't even start that
Man
nonsense.
U Liverpool's not even a derby. Man U Liverpool's not even a derby. It's a rivalry.
No,
I'm sorry,
it's a
but
rivalry. You can't class it as a derby at all.
Oh, great save.
To be fair, I haven't watched a Cardiff Swansea game in years, so frankly, I don't even know. I only know.
No offense, but Cardiff Swans better than Man United Liverpool, because it's literally 0-0 all the time. Just two teams who are too scared. At least in the Championship, there's a thing. But
at least our games get watched by millions.
Oh, not anymore, mate. Everyone just knows it's 0-0.
Nah, but they still get the most views, man.
We try and attack our boys, just park the bus for Molly in it.
So Rich Sports is. Rich Sports has just said this Swansea Cardiff watch-alongs might be quite good this weekend.
Just watch Nathan break his computer. That'll be the highlight.
Yeah, is your computer okay, Nathan? You seem to, bash.
Yeah, it's doing good. I mean, there must be reinforcement in this desk at the moment, so.
Maybe a 1-1 draw.
I hope it's a 1-1 draw.
I would take. Ask me now. I'd take a draw now.
Oh, look at these! They want a draw. Shows how small they are, doesn't it? Just shows.
No.
Oh, come on! We're a bigger club than you, mate. Come on.
I'm saying 1-1 draw because Cardiff will bottle it at the very end. Swansea will get a late equaliser.
They'll get a late penalty. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there'll be. I don't even want to think about a loss because honestly, I've seen it toxic before in the fan base, but I think this will bridge it to the next level, even worse than the red situation. It would. I mean,
yeah. Every club has got fickle fans, but there's quite a few fickle Cardiff. If we lose this, and there isn't the commitment there, because in the first match, Cardiff just didn't turn up, and what Cardiff fans want from their team is 100% commitment in every game. And if they give that and we lose, so what? But I think that's for most teams could say that. But we didn't turn up in the first match, so the minimum is that they give 100% this match, and if we get a draw, then so be it. But the only scenario is if this were we to lose this, the only scenario is if we beat the Jacks in the playoff final. That's the only
absolutely
playoffs. You're not even finishing.
I know we've got to get there first. We've got to beat Stoke tomorrow, but
we've got to get there.
That's the only scenario is
Cardiff getting playoffs. That's something new.
Well, it could have happened last season playoff final, but we both bottled it.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Oh yeah, I actually remember the uproar in both teams. Get into the playoff semis, and then both of them losing in the space of each other. But yeah,
I will say one thing though, because it was behind closed doors, Doug. I bet the police were having a party behind the scenes that it didn't have to happen at Wembley. So
I think probably Bridgeford's going to expand the lockdown, isn't he? Till after what's going on in Wales. So.
Oh, is it?
Oh, terrible.
All I'm saying is Cardiff didn't sell out their ground.
Yeah, we did.
No, you didn't.
Only corporate didn't sell out. As far as I'm concerned, that's not an option because I'm sorry, but you cannot charge normal fans £700 for a ticket. That's not, in my terms, that general sale defines as a sellout, mate. You can't.
You know what's really unfair about this argument?
Go on.
You know what's really unfair about this argument? Is Nathan's above me? Like, why can't I just swap positions? Because I feel like he's actually demeaning them. Can we swap positions so at least it could be direct arguments?
Couple of free Mackie meals.
That's better.
Mackie's tickets.
Now continue.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Centre stage is mine.
Oh dear. Right. Well. Let's get some score predictions, right? So, Rhys Bish, what are you going for?
I'm probably going to change my predictions every single day, to be honest. The nerves aren't kicking in yet because both of the teams still have one more game before we play. But we don't concede too many, but we don't score too many. Cardiff have been a bit free flowing recently. I think it'll be a tight game. I think we're going to nick a 1-0. Just to annoy BBL, I'm going to go for a penalty for Andreu. I reckon we'll nick a 1-0.
Well, all he needs to do is stand up straight because he hits it down the middle every time, doesn't he? So.
As Harry Hill says, there's only one way to find out. Right. 6-1.
6-1. Woo!
Whoa! That's
4-1 anyway. So.
Right. Okay, Nathan, what are you going for?
I will say one thing. I never give a prediction in a derby, and I'm not going to give one here.
Don't be boring. Don't be boring.
To quote Adam Sandler, bullshit.
Bullshit. The last prediction, Jamal was going to brace. Come on.
Yeah, I know, and I said he was the worst player in the team. So, if I'm going to give one, I'm going to say 1-0 Cardiff. So, the double is out of question. Absolutely. Touch wood.
Interesting. Paul, what are you going for?
Yeah, it's going to be very tight. Both defences. Swansea, you got to say they have been up until recently the best defensive team in the league. I've got to give it to them on that. Although Cardiff in the last 10, 12 matches have really tightened up at the back as well. So there's not going to be many goals. I think it's either going to be a draw, but I think we'll keep a clean sheet and we might just nick it with probably a bit of housery, and we'll nick it with a set piece play from a Kiefer Moore header or an Aidan Flint header, or maybe even a bicycle kick, which he almost managed to do on the weekend.
So close last week.
So yeah, 1-0. I'll go for the Bluebirds. So.
Okay.
Bit of hope is that Mick McCarthy, when he was managing Ipswich, he couldn't get a single bloody win against Norwich, could he? He managed like loads of derbies against Norwich. He couldn't win. Cooper's got a great record against Cardiff. 3 times he's faced Cardiff. 3 clean sheets in a row. Cardiff just can't score against us. I don't want to jinx it, but it's 5:30 as well on Saturday, which is rare for the Championship. So it's going to be
Nathan's sitting there like, you had to bring up McCarthy's record in derbies.
Yeah, that's already making me much nervous now.
Are Swansea playing tonight or tomorrow night? Tomorrow night or Wednesday? Yeah,
tomorrow, but it's away from home, so we're probably going to get back early Wednesday.
Yeah, I don't know what these both the clubs have got midweek matches. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing to take their minds off the derby for the weekend. So, don't know.
Cardiff have got Stoke. Who have Swansea got?
Bournemouth away. So we'll let you get to feel like a strong match.
You're losing that.
Although, to be fair, Bournemouth haven't been the best, really. They lost to Barnsley.
Under Jonathan Woodgate.
And they were in that match as well.
I mean, who would have actually predicted Barnsley would be in the playoffs right now? I think that's absolutely a magnificent achievement.
Yeah, I think it's something like 10 wins in a row or something, and they've been absolutely unbelievable. Their manager definitely going to go up into the Premier League at some point, but they've got to slow down at some point. Otherwise, we're not going to make playoffs. But it depends on the likes of Reading. If Bournemouth continue to bottle it as well, just going to have to wait and see, really, at the end of the day.
I'm surprised how far ahead Norwich are as well. I mean, they're playing good football, but I wouldn't expect them to be on the same amount of games played. I wouldn't have expected them to be 10 points clear in the Championship.
Well, we've got a game in hand on them, so if we win, we 7. So we can't. Yeah. So, but we're not gonna. Yeah, Norwich their squad depth is ridiculous.
Go on. Manager scored. Manager scored.
Is that you getting prepared for? Is that you getting prepared for when Wolves knock it past you?
Ooh.
Aye.
Ooh.
No.
Oh well.
I just made up all these winning games. He'll stay in the job for longer, won't he?
Jack, Matt, what are you predicting for the South Wales derby?
Swansea, just Nicky. IU, I think, as the lads were mentioned. I think it's like when your season's been the way it has, the amount of ACCA wins I've had with Swansea this season. You're like, what is happening? Like the amount of times late minute winners, as the lads have mentioned, you need that bit of luck in games sometimes. And I think the luck has been going Swansea's way, but it will be a big result if Cardiff can win this. It could give them a bit of form come the back end of the season because there's still a lot of points still to go in the Championship, and we know how crazy that league has been. But yeah, I'm going to go Swansea 2-1. It's going to be a tight game, but it'll be interesting to see what team actually performs. As the lad said, derbies sometimes are a bit boring, but go Swansea 2-1.
Reece, Russell?
I'm going to go 1-1. I don't think either side will win this game. I think the game will just be too big situation for either team. I think Cardiff are going to take the lead though very early in the game, and then they'll just fuck up, and then at the end of the game, Swansea will get a late equaliser.
Swansea are at home, aren't they?
I think,
it's at Liberty.
I think it'll be a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I think earlier in the season, the amount of abuse the players got from certain sections of the fan base, then they can't afford to lose this match. I think they'll come out all guns blazing, like you said, Reece probably get a goal, but yeah, you could see Swansea scoring as well later on in the match.
Yeah, I literally logged out of Twitter for 2 days because the amount of people going ballistic at that performance was unbelievable that day.
Probably best to stay off social media on Saturday, depending on the result. I'm gonna go.
Don't go sitting on the fence, lads. Say it.
2-1 Cardiff. They are due a win. So I'm gonna say that they will get the win. But it's going to be a fascinating encounter as well. They're always very fascinating encounters anyway. And I love I love when Swansea fans come into your stream, Nathan. I love when Cardiff fans go into your stream, Rhys Bish. It's incredible. Someone's asked Neil Harris to Bournemouth. That ain't happening. No way.
I would like
No
to bring
way.
up a few of those excellent Deguzi comments, though. I've been slowly but surely reading through them. There have been some absolute beauties in there. I love Cardiff Nando's is one that sticks out to me personally.
Someone said Mane should have scored.
Do they not have Nando's in Swansea?
Yeah, we do. It's in Wine Street, if you know where that is. You should know where that is.
Neil Harris to Bournemouth. Neil Harris to Bournemouth.
From a neutral perspective to you three at the top, who would you prefer to be the next Welsh side in the Prem? Obviously, forget Newport, they're irrelevant. Mike, we can't.
Sorry, Mike.
So Doug, Reece, and LFC.
Ooh, you.
Do you know what?
Well,
Do you know what? Do you know what? I wouldn't mind both of you coming back up. I think it'd be lovely to see you both back up. Actually,
Nah.
Well, there's a lot of Swans Liverpool connections because Cooper was your under-18 coach, I believe, as well.
yes, he was. Yeah, but then you've got like Harry Wilson at Cardiff. I think they've.
Yan Dando.
They've had Shea Ojo, they've had Peltier. They've had quite a few players in the past that have actually joined. Brewster, yeah.
We got you that 20 million. Without us, we'd had about 2 pence.
I know. We got Joe Allen off his. That was one as well.
Oh no.
We Joe.
and of course, back in the 70s. So.
Swansea is a bit of a way day. Cardiff got a huge soft spot for.
The only reason I'd say that is because of the way the stadium's set up for us. I kind of agree with that, with what a lot of people have been saying. But if it was like it used to be at Ninian Park, so if they had the Cardiff fans the Cardiff Superior fans, what you could say, the singing section in the Grange ends, then I think it would be it'd be Cardiff a better away day. But just because of the way it's set up and how open it is. At the Cardiff City Stadium, I'd have to say that Liberty is slightly better for away fans, personally.
I just don't like where you put the away fans in like the corner. Put them behind the goal. Put them behind the goal.
The only reason they do it, though.
Yeah, I think that's a tactic that most clubs enforce, where you don't want to give the opposition any sort of advantage. You got Newcastle; they're right up in the bobs. I think that Man United are in the corner as well, Reece, aren't they? Yeah. The fans, so it's just a tactic that all sort of clubs employ.
Wolves put you in the bloody middle.
That's a horrible away day.
Down the side, don't they? All the way down.
It must suck that Wolves have just scored.
Have they?
Fuck
I'm watching a bit behind here. Won't be a Liverpool game without conceding. Like,
oh God.
Oh, the camera's panned on Harry Will. Connor Cody.
The Premier League's Portuguese side have taken.
It's not Connor Cody, is it?
The camera's fixated on him, like prior to the goal. I swear if he scores.
Oh God! Oh no! Oh no!
Get up!
What happens when you don't have Van Dijk?
Nah, we're not having that sort of shitty excuses. We're not having that on here.
At least we're in the Champions League, like, aren't we?
That's very true.
You had to go there. You had to go there.
Nathan.
Go on.
When was your last trophy, by the way?
2013.
No, well, you can't count six.
Yeah, you can. Have you ever won the championship? Come on, you went up in the playoffs.
They won the cup.
What's your highest ever average finish as well in the top flight?
When's your last domestic trophy? I was at 2013.
Last domestic trophy, 1927.
Didn't we win the Portuguese Cup or something, beating Celtic as well?
Yes, we've also got further in Europe as well.
Yeah.
Lads, this is too funny.
Cardiff live in the past.
What have you done before 2011?
By the way, it's not 1-0 Wolves. Someone was playing me. Now
I'm not even looking at the comment section, but I'm just watching. Come on, boys.
What I usually do with fake scores, I basically ban them. But on this evidence, I'm not going to because you just played me. But yeah, guys, let us know. let us know what you think that the Swansea Cardiff score is going to be. I've absolutely loved this part of the podcast. But moving swiftly on, we have the quarterfinals of the FA Cup at the weekend.
Yep.
So, Reece, Leicester City against Manchester United. How are you feeling going into that one?
50-50. We'll see how it goes. It is a tough game. It's Leicester. They're a good side. But what I will say is we haven't failed to at least reach a semi-final. So as far as I'm concerned, I think we're still going through. But it's going to be a tough game. I expect Man United to progress. I think we're going to progress after extra time, similar to the West Ham game.
I am not reading that comment, Jack Ward, so you're not going to get me with that one. I'm sorry.
Nice try.
Jack Mack, Everton City. Can you see Everton causing a wee upset there?
Good joke, that lad. No, not really. Man City, they're in first year. They have been for a couple of weeks now. Obviously, Man United played very well against them, but Ollie's got a number on Pep. I don't know what he's got behind closed doors, but he always gets a good result against Man City. But yeah, no, Everton, I think they'll be still waiting a couple of years to win a trophy. But yeah, it's going to be a whitewash for Manchester City. I think they will prioritise as they have got the final coming up in the Carabola. Whatever you want to call it now.
Carabola.
Carabola. What is the Casters now? Is it the Carabao, the Mickey Mouse Cup or whatever?
It's better than the Papa John's trophy.
The Papa.
Yeah, which you won in 2005. Only thing you've done before 2011.
Yeah, we beat that.
Yeah.
We won that in Cardiff, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Only trophy you're ever going to win in Cardiff.
guys. If you are enjoying the stream, then please smash the like button. If you are new and you have enjoyed the podcast, which I'm pretty sure every Cardiff City fan and Swansea fan that have been in here has been enjoying this little wee debate, then please hit that subscribe button. We are very, very close to 1.1k as well, which is mad considering they only hit 1k last month. So absolutely incredible. The other games, Chelsea against Sheffield United. I think this is a bit of a foregone conclusion, Paul, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. They'll want to hopefully make amends for that disaster against Leeds United. Sheffield United, we saw losing their manager and getting stuffed on the weekend 5-0. So, yeah, Chelsea all day long in this one.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do think it will be Chelsea, Sheffield United. And there is one more tie that I've completely forgotten about, and it's not coming to my head. Can anyone think what the other tie is in the FA Cup?
I'll have a look.
There's something Bournemouth are in there. Bournemouth playing.
Bournemouth, Southampton, yeah. South Coast Derby.
South Coast Derby.
That's a big one.
Southampton will smash them.
That's a hard one.
On Saturday, so.
That is a hard one.
Hopefully Bournemouth for rest players tomorrow then. Play your under 23 speed, lads.
Have the semis been drawn yet, or were they drawn on the other previous rounds?
I think they'll be drawn afterwards.
After it, is it after?
Yeah, after the games on Sunday, I think. So
I reckon it'll be United Chelsea again.
Bournemouth are going to put out a strong team for that one because I'm sure it's international break next week, isn't it? So they'll play a strong team in that.
I'm hoping to get knocked out. That would be priceless.
Where is Leicester City Man United? Is that the King Power?
Yeah.
King Power.
Yeah. Everton at home as well.
To be fair, it is not good for Leicester if you're having Man United as an away game because Man United are far better away from home than they are at home. True. That is very, very true. Have players back. We will have players back from injuries, and they should get a rest this week. They'll probably get 20-25 minutes against Milan, which should do them good stead. So we'll see what happens. But I think Man United will go through. It's not going to be easy. I think that's going to be the toughest game of the weekend. Man United versus Leicester. I think it'll be like a 1 goal in it. But I'm not going to disregard Leicester. Leicester have got a good chance of progressing. I've just got to go away the obvious bias, of course, because there's no chance. There's not a bloody chance I'm ever saying I want Man United to lose. But Leicester could go through. It's a cup game. Anything can happen. But Nah, I think United are going to go through 2-1 after extra time.
Yeah, I think the experience itself from Man United.
Hella says that Southampton have been poor lately.
Yeah,
They have fallen off a cliff. Haven't they?
When Southampton like top, like in November, they were like top of the league in November.
Yeah, they were top.
They were top of the league. They were top of the league after they beat us, Jack, weren't they? They were top of the league, and they've just.
Since they've printed them T-shirts saying "Stop the count," they've just gone awful.
I think there was a couple of teams that's been top of the Premier League this season, haven't they?
Southampton, Villa.
So many.
Yeah.
Leicester, Chelsea.
Leicester have been in the top 4 all season. See if they fall at the top 4 before the season ends.
Here we go again. No. Method Rodon sorted.
Christ!
If anyone doesn't know this, because he's Swansea, Cardiff, and loads of other teams. He's a bit of a plastic. And
Swansea, Cardiff, Newport, Wrexham, Bencabango.
Yeah, he likes this Bencabango geezer for the Swans, and this. Well, he liked Tom Locke for Luton. He didn't play, but Wales centre backs. Yeah, they all don't play.
Southampton probably think they're safe. Might not be.
Not safe. They're definitely not safe.
They've got a lot. And it's a shame because Southampton are good for a neutral's point of view. They're a good team to watch. It's just ever since a fair few results went against them, not including the obvious 9-0 hammering, but there were several other results in there. Realistically, they should have done better.
And
where it's gone against them.
Isn't Danny Ings injured as well?
Yeah.
Apparently he wants to leave as well. Apparently Ings wants to go to a Champions League club, so he's not there.
So what Champions League club's going to take Danny Ings now?
He'll go abroad then if he wants to.
No disrespect to Danny Ings. No disrespect to Danny Ings. He's a good striker, but frankly, what Champions League club's going to take him? Because I don't think anyone's got to take a hint on him.
Oh, what is this guy all about?
Oh dear.
I like Haas.
Rich, I know we were top once. I know.
Rich, why'd you have to say that? Oh, come on.
I know. Right, the final.
And just to respond to Ant's question, the only 9-0 that matters, the one that this club was involved in.
I was going to say, it's pretty crazy how many points Man City are ahead. Because if does anyone remember their start of the season, they were losing like 5-2 to Leicester.
Yeah, they started off so bad, didn't they?
Yeah, it's crazy.
The reaction from them has been spot on. I was surprised by the reaction of Southampton, everyone. Like that could have battered any side, but they reacted quite well to that 9-0. Went on like a little decentish run, and then it's surprising. I do favour them next season, but they've got enough in that squad really to stay up. But no team is ever too big. They've got
enough. They've got enough to stay up, but it's the form that worries me. It's the form that worries me with Southampton. Right, the last thing we're going to discuss is the Champions League and Europa League will be coming to a close. The round of 16 will be coming to a close, and the quarterfinal draw is on Friday, and also the Europa League draw will be coming to the next round as well. So, starting with the Champions League, Nathan, Manchester City against Borussia Mönchengladbach. I think that's a foregone conclusion, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Gladbach won't even turn up for that one, to be fair. They pretty much know that they're not going to beat Man City. Phenomenal in the first leg. Marco Rose, of course, gone, and they've been on massive downfall. I think they're like 10th or 11th in the Bundesliga now. They're not coming back into this one, and they're going to say bye-bye to European football. Not for this season, but for next season and maybe the year after.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I honestly see that for sure. Real Madrid, Atalanta, Paul. This is an interesting one because Atalanta, if they win 2-1, then they're throwing away goals. Can you see Atalanta causing a wee upset?
No, we'll probably see a 0-0 draw or something. They'll probably park the bus in. Well, they're not actually playing at the Bernabeu, are they? Is it the Alfredo Di Stefano?
Their training ground.
Training facility that they've got.
Why aren't they playing at the Bernabeu?
Basically, they don't have a pitch, and the lower tier has been completely dismantled there. So, and there's cranes everywhere in the stadium.
Right.
Yeah, I think Atlanta are in very good form, aren't they? In Serie A, whereas I believe Madrid are second still in La Liga.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a very tight match. Probably one goal will settle it, but Madrid will probably hang on for a 0-0 draw in this one, and that'll suit them.
Jack, what do you think? Think Real Madrid will go out?
You never say never, mate, because obviously the way in which Porto did play against Juventus, they knocked them out. If Atalanta, on the night, they can perform very well, and considering they only conceded 1 goal, but Atalanta, yes, Gomez, Papi Gomez going to Sevilla. I think he went. I think he's going to be a big miss.
Sevilla, yeah.
And he was a good player for them, but Ilic, the Serbian or whatever, he's played quite well, but you can see Real Madrid, when you have seen them this season, they can get gutter. And I think deeper into the competition, if Real Madrid are going to progress, I think they will get found out. But they have got the experience with Zidane. Yes, they haven't got a Ronaldo, no Bale and all that, but Real Madrid's got the experience on this side, and I think they will more or less go through.
Still waiting for Hazard to turn up as well this season. So
he's got another injury as well.
Yeah,
he's injured again. Yeah,
he's been shocked.
I don't even want to see the doom and gloom going on in the Hazard brother group chat, let's just say, because I believe his brother's injured, his younger brother's. Thorgan Hazard's having a bad time as well. And then his other brother, I can't remember his name, he's about to get relegated in the Belgian league. So really not doing well for him at the moment.
Someone's put a case on the family Christmas dinner or something.
Curse on the Hazard family. Rhys Bish, I think this is a foregone conclusion again. Bayern Munich against Lazio. I mean, it was 4-1 for the first leg. Lazio need to win 4-0 to go through.
Yeah. I think that game's gone, Lazio, they'll put up a fight, but, Bayern Munich, there's a reason why they're reigning champions of Europe. They just got ridiculous. They got Lewandowski, arguably the best striker in the world, Neuer, one of the best keepers. Their squad's just absolutely ridiculous at this point. So, yeah, I think Bayern will be comfortable winners in that game.
Reece?
What's the Lazio striker? Wasn't he top scorer in Europe last? Immobile, yeah, he's class, isn't he?
He is a cracking player. Now, Reece Russell, I give you the very last game of the Champions League. This is going to be a really interesting one. Chelsea, Atletico Madrid. What's happening? Because I'm saying this is going to extra time.
I actually don't think this one's going to go extra time at all. I think originally I said Chelsea were going to get knocked out by Atletico, but the way Chelsea have turned things around under Tuchel since he's taken over, I actually don't think Atletico are going to knock them out. I think Chelsea are going to win this one. I think Chelsea are going to get a clean sheet. I think Chelsea are going to win this game 1-0, to be honest. I think it's going to be 1-0 to Chelsea. Originally I was thinking Atletico, but the way Atletico have played in recent games, they've not been good enough. They've not been convincing at all. Especially, I don't think they've won a game recently. So
they drew against Getafe on the weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
They drew against Madrid at home as well. Real Madrid at home recently.
Yeah, 1-1 draw.
And it also
1-1 draw.
Against Levante. So
they had a 14-point lead, didn't they? Though in the league,
that's such a lead as well, and they had games in hand. They had games in hand over everybody, and they've been so poor since. I don't think they're. I don't know what's going on with Atletico, but they're not convincing enough for me. I think Chelsea are just going to edge this one. They've been so much better under Tuchel, and they don't concede a lot of goals either. He's certainly improved them defensively. There's certainly some players in that Chelsea defence aren't good at all, but in this system, it works. So I think Chelsea are just going to edge this one 1-0.
Yeah, I was so disappointed with Atletico's performance against Chelsea because at the time, I think Chelsea were 4th. Atletico Madrid with 1st on confidence, and I was just so disappointed with Atletico's performance because as soon as they went 1-0 down, they started to play attack football against Felix and Suarez in the game, and started creating some chances. So hopefully we can see a good entertaining game, and hopefully we can see Atleti going for it, which makes it a good spectacle for everyone watching.
Door on tour. Welcome into the stream, my friend. Penn, Swansea City, Reece.
Penn Swansea. Oh, that's actually.
We beat Forest 3 times this season, 5-1 in the last game. Forest, they were a massive club. They're just nothing now. Smaller than Notts County, though, mate. Might as well go to Notts County.
See,
that's all right. You need to mention. You mentioned penalties, and it just kicks off.
Reece Russell, let's go into the Europa League. Manchester United, AC Milan, Manchester United. You must have been so gutted to your loyalties are on the line here. Who's going through in that one? Do you think?
I did say, like, funnily enough, Richard will be in the live chat. I said 0-0 first leg, 1-1 second leg. So at least I got one of the legs right. I've stuck neutral for both. I've stuck with the neutrals for both sides, but I do expect United to progress in this game. Like, United will have players back for the Milan game. It's away from home, so I expect Man United to be slightly better at the San Siro. But Milan are a good side. They certainly had chances in the game where they should have won. Like by far the better team, especially at Old Trafford. If it hadn't been for an unfortunate mistake by Henderson, it would have been a 1-0 Man United win. But what I will say is, I'm looking forward to watching the second leg as a neutral, but I expect United to win this one. I'm going to go 1-0 Man United.
Oh, interesting, Jack. What about you? Can you say AC Milan going through, or will Man United sneak through?
I think United, as I said, they should do the business, but it's how they approach the game. Is Rashford going to be getting dropped, Reece? Because obviously, is he fully out, or do you reckon he'll play?
He's trying to play him as much as he can. I don't see what
I don't
think he has it in him to drop him. I don't think he has it in him to drop him. It's like the whole favouritism thing. Like, if a player's not in form, if they're not in the best of physical health, don't play them. Like, if you're going to play them off the bench. Don't start them. It's screwing with his career. Like, it could potentially have a long-term effect on his career. I would not play Rashford. Like, I would say Rashford against Milan. I would play him against Leicester because at least it's a full week to recover. I would do that. Or play him off the bench for half an hour. That's not a problem. I wouldn't start him.
United should have enough to go past the AC Milan side. No discredit to them, but it'd be interesting to see. Away goals will count massively. And I think if Man United can hit AC on the counter a couple of times, which they're very capable of, they've got a lot of pacey players getting behind this AC Milan side. Yes, they played very well in Serie A this season, Milan, but I think United should be too strong for them going forward.
Rhys Bish?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, Italian football's a bit slower in it than the Premier League. I was very impressed with Tomori on loan from Chelsea before he had an excellent game against Manchester United. He looks really good for the future. Reece is not going to like me for this, but actually, I'm going to back AC Milan. The reason why I'm going to back them is I don't think United look too confident defending set pieces. Obviously, Kadja got the goal on Henderson. I don't think he's a Man United keeper. I think he's more of a mid-table. I think he's a good keeper on his day, but I just think he's playing a bit of his level at the moment. But I'm going to back 1-1, and it'll go to penalties, and I reckon AC Milan will win penalties. I think it's going to be an interesting game. Obviously, we've seen in the West Ham game, the first half was United had no opportunities really because of West Ham's defensive setup. I think AC Milan will go defensive. They'll sit back, which will not help Man United's attacking. But if United do get that first goal, AC Milan will have to attack, which means United have more space. But I reckon we're going to have a penalty shootout in this one, so I can go AC Milan with the way on penalties. And I don't like that comment, Jack, at all.
Get in, Jack.
Yeah.
Fair comment, that.
Yeah, I think. Look, it's a tough one. It's a tough one to call. Paul, are Arsenal going to finally get past Olympiacos, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. No question about it. Of course they are. No problem at all.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, finish this tie off.
With their performance in the North London derby the other day as well. If they don't, then that's surely got to be one of the biggest embarrassments for them in the last few years.
Just watch Olympiacos go for the double and beat them in the second leg.
It'd be the most Arsenal thing to do, innit? Bottle fat. Like,
I just think with that third away goal of Vilmen, it'll just be okay. But I think if the Olympiacos fans were allowed in, then I do not think they would have been as comfortable because Olympiacos fans, as we've seen in the
if Arsenal go through, I reckon it will be another North London derby.
It'd be great to have an all-English final again, like a few years back. We had Spurs, Liverpool in the Champions League. We had Arsenal, Chelsea in the Europa League. That was good.
The difference is it'll be a Man United. It won't be that. It'll be if Arsenal get to the final, I look forward to it because we'll beat them in the final. But we'll see.
It's hard to tell Europa League because Mourinho's such a good.
It's interesting. I think Mourinho will want this one. Mourinho's going to go for this. I think you'll see in the next coming weeks. Like you'll see like his team selections like in the league compared to the Premier League after the Man United Tottenham game on the April 10th. I think that's when you'll see after that game, you'll see the tweaks in his lineups. You'll see that he's going to go for the Europa League.
Yeah, because if they win the Carabao Cup, they've got Europa League football anyway. So then, it doesn't matter where they finish in the league. Because as long as they win the Carabao Cup, they've got Europa League guaranteed. So it'd be interesting.
I'm kind of glad I've missed this game. Apparently, there's been one shot on target. It's 0-0.
Yeah, I'm watching in the background. Like it's been absolutely shocking from both sides, not just Liverpool. Obviously, William Jose from Real Sociedad's playing up front for Wolves tonight. And it's just been shocking to put it in plain terms. Yeah, put it nicely.
And Thiago gets his mandatory yellow card of this.
Oh yeah, that was a good crunching tackle there. The man can't tackle. He's like Paul Scholes, just lunges into people and just gets booked.
Oh dear. Dinamo Zagreb, Tottenham, Nathan. I think Spurs are through, aren't they?
Yeah, Spurs through. Dinamo Zagreb. We talked about their manager earlier. If they don't win this, then there's clearly something wrong. Internally wise. But either way, Spurs have this surely.
Yeah, I think so. Rhys Russell, Rangers, Slavia Prague. I have to say it was a good point away to get to take up one. But what a save from Alan McGregor. I mean, have you guys seen that McGregor save?
Yeah, phenomenal, isn't it?
It's the best save. It's the best save I've seen in like a decade.
40 years old as well to have those reactions. Incredible.
Yeah. Incredible. Wish I'm not quick going down the stairs.
He should not be making a save like that. Like he shouldn't be making a save like that. Phenomenal save. That's what's kept Rangers in it. That's definitely kept Rangers in it.
Yeah. Especially the age of him, but it just goes to show that he is the best goalkeeper in the Scottish Premiership by far.
Hands down.
Do you think Rangers can do it? Do you think they can get to the quarterfinals?
I did say like a couple of weeks ago that I think Rangers would get to the quarterfinals, and that's probably as far as I think they can go. And that's not saying that they're not a good enough team. It's just the quality. Once you get to the quarterfinal stages, you see who's truly going to be in like the latter stages. Like, so I think that matters most. They've got a good side, but I'm not counting out Slavia Prague. Like the way they played against Leicester in both legs, like they were very impressive. I think what was it 0-0 in the first leg, and then they just swept them apart in the second leg. So it just shows like Slavia Prague, they're very good defensively, but when they need to, attacking wise, they will turn up. I think Rangers getting that goal certainly helped the play back in to get the Hollander goal. We'll see how it goes. I think Rangers are going to edge this one, but I'm not counting out Slavia Prague here. Like the one thing I don't want Rangers to concede early on, but if Rangers do concede early on, it's a matter of just responding. I mean, they've scored in 42 consecutive games, so we'll see what happens. But the good thing about this game as well is both teams are unbeaten. I think Slavia Prague are unbeaten in 41 games, and Rangers are unbeaten in 34. So we'll see how it goes. That's what I like about it. Is the fact is it's two unbeaten teams that play really good football, who want to win. We'll see how it goes, but I don't see. I think this is going to be like the hardest game for Rangers for quite a while. Like, because Slavia Prague, they're very good at the back. I was very impressed with them defensively, but Rangers were held in the game. Like that save kept them in the game. That goal, albeit as a Rangers fan, it was a fluke. It was a fluky goal, but they're still in it. But we'll find out on Thursday. I think Rangers will just edge it, but it's at least the good thing is they've got an away goal. That's crucial.
Nathan, stop making different accounts, mate.
Fake accounts,
yeah. He's on his phone commenting about himself on different accounts.
Oh dear. No, I'm not too guzzy. I'm not too guzzy, mate.
Right, I may as well answer it because I know a few people have mentioned it. Right, I'm going to say it now. I follow one club that I don't support. Like I follow, and that's Leipzig. I follow Leipzig. I'm not like a big Leipzig fan compared to the Germans. But in terms of who I actually support, it's Rangers, Man United, and AC Milan. But Man United are my first club. To clarify for people.
There we go.
And apparently PSG... Yes!
What, Wolves have scored?
1-0 Liverpool. 1-0.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's got
Diogo
his screams
Jota.
from behind. Oh, is it?
Jota!
Yes, get it. Diego.
Great, I'm
Diogo
going to have
Jota.
to... Great, I'm going to have to listen to this unbearable
coming.
torture for 15 minutes of Liverpool scoring.
That must be like the
God,
last
give me
couple of
strength.
seconds as well. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, 45 plus 2.
Who scored?
Diogo Jota.
Oh, of course, it'd be him against Wolves as well.
He's the only
Oh,
one that
God.
scores goals for us at the minute.
Is he celebrating? Is he celebrating?
Yeah, that's half time as well.
I don't think he would
Yeah, I'll have a
celebrate.
look. Anyway.
I
But
don't think
you
he
can
would.
just like a minute before that, I'm on the street and now Nuno's screaming at his team like just to keep hold of the ball because both sides are just giving away possession in the middle of the pitch. Like, oh yeah.
Both sides have been poor in terms of retaining possession as of late, so like this will be an interesting game in terms of who can hold it, but both clubs are shit anyway.
Oh, Patricio, mate. Oh no, get in! That shocking goal. Is that Pickford in goal? Come on.
It's like Alex Smith in goal.
Yeah, that's shocking. He's let that in. It's from
on.
post Patricio. It's a sloppy shot, but it's went in. Take it like, but
We'll take it. We'll take it. One question I have to ask you, Rhys Bish. Do you think Villarreal with Unai Emery are favourites for the Europa League? Because I've been thinking that they are.
They've got to be up there. You know, Unai Emery's record. I think he won it 3 times on a bounce in Sevilla. He loves the competition, similar to Mourinho in recent years. They just love the Europa League. It'll be interesting because, you know, he likes retaining possession. It'll be very interesting. I can't remember what the first leg score, if you want to tell me, because I can't remember.
it was 2-0. 2-0 Villarreal, getting 2 away goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'd fancy him to get quarterfinals, and you know, usually Spanish teams do quite well against the English teams. So it'll be interesting if they do go through. We'll verse because I think they beat Arsenal. I think they'd be strong fears against Tottenham. Obviously against United they'll struggle, but you know, Sevilla beat United a few years back. So you know, I think they've got to be up there, Doug, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Make this hashtag trending. Hashtag Nathan for PM. You're going to want to love tonight, Nathan.
Oh, what's going on here?
Fuck knows, mate. What have you done to society?
Oh, I don't know. After that Watford stream, I have no idea, honestly. But
To be
it's
fair,
one of those days, isn't it?
he would do a better job than Mark Drakeford. I think that's.
Oh,
don't
don't
get
even get me started. No.
We're going down this route then.
Oh,
Guys,
dear.
this is the time to get your questions in. We'll be with you for another 5 minutes, and then we'll be heading off. But I've really
10
enjoyed.
minutes if you ask. 10 minutes if you ask us good questions.
I've got a
Actually, just ask
question.
Go on.
I've got a question. Can or will Manchester City win the quadruple?
No.
No. Where are they going to fall over?
Champions League, of course.
Champions League.
Champions League and maybe up as well.
Who's going to beat them in the Champions League?
Bayern Munich.
Bayern.
Also, Bayern. I'd love it. Love it knocking Man City out. I know they always have been terrible this season in the Prem, but Liverpool different animal in the Champions League.
They've turned up, haven't they? Turned up every time.
Yeah.
I think PSG might do them as well with, you know, the pace of Mbappe and stuff like that, but defensively questionable. But Champions League will be the thing. I think FA Cup. I think they'll fall in the FA Cup. I think they fell a few years back against Arsenal winning the semis. It might have been last season, actually. I think it was last season. Yeah, they lost to Arsenal. So I think they'll win the Carabao Cup, though, and the Prem, but quadruple's hard.
I knew that was coming.
It's the mentality from City, which I'll be very disappointed from an outside point of view. It's a good enough squad to go deep in every single Champions League campaign they've had, but Monaco, the Lyons, they've always stumbled when they've got deep into the Champions League. That Tottenham game was a disgrace. It was dodgy and balls and that, but they absolutely blew that. But they're capable of winning Champions League, don't be wrong, but if you're a City fan, you'd be disappointed the way in which Pep's played in the Champions League for them.
Yeah, Anthony's just basically commented on his account. That's definitely Neil with the Beyond the 90 account, and they've asked Reece, are you excited to get thrashed by Leicester on Sunday?
It's not going to be a thrashing. I think it's going to be quite a tight game. I generally think it's going to be a tight game. I think it's going to go to extra time, but it depends on which team turns up. I still think it's going to be Man United that goes through, but I'm not counting Leicester's chances out because Leicester are a decent side.
It'd be interesting because you predicted it to go to extra time, didn't you, Reece? And obviously Leicester's going to have a full rest.
2-1, yeah.
Absolutely.
2-1 after extra time United, but
so of course, if
I'll be
United
looking
have to
forward to it.
bring
It'll be a good game.
you know, hopefully Leicester don't just sit back and because the United's contract. Hopefully, that on paper that should be a really good game.
Neil just confirmed it is him on the 90. So it's not Anthony doing two different accounts. Oh dear. Yeah, I mean, look, I think the FA Cup is going to be very, very interesting for sure. You have to say that, you know, I think, I mean, you know, were Man City to lose to Everton, I mean, I don't know what I would do. To be
Switch
honest,
off my phone for a good week.
I think so, yeah. I would definitely do something. LCFC Boy says, I want to see fridge tears. If you know, you know. I think that's about Harry Maguire. I think.
To be fair to Maguire, he's been one of the best defenders in the Premier League this season. He's been really, really good this season, I've got to say. Yeah, he has his doubters because of his size and stuff like that. But when I've watched, okay, he's made 1 or 2 mistakes, but you know, Diaz made a mistake against Liverpool away from home and obviously give away a penalty. So on form, Maguire's been one of the best players this season, in my opinion.
He's a good defender, but he's not. He's a good defender. He's a good defender, but he's not an £80 million defender.
Oh no, yeah, that's the inflation of the market, though.
That like Leicester won that. Like Leicester, like proper spanked United in that transfer there, but he's a good centre back. It's just there's just parts of it like defence that just wasn't working for him.
You just need that quick centre back next to him, don't you?
Yeah, so when I watched Maguire this season, the amount of times he's been out of position playing everyone on side, it's quite frightening. And yes, he's played well for Leicester, but the price tag hasn't helped. But making him captain, I don't think he should be the Manchester United captain. I think
when he was made captain, I was like,
stupid decision.
When he was made captain, I was like, this can't be right because he was only at the team. He was only in the team for like 6 months, and he was named captain. I was like, this is just not right at all. But Solskjaer's made him as captain, so we'll see where it goes from there. If he wins a trophy as a Man United captain, I'll be happy at least. But I don't think he is the man to be the captain. But I'm not going to slate him for it. But we'll see where it goes. But I don't know. We'll find out. There's some things he needs to improve on, but he's not that bad a player. He's not that bad.
No. I've been is it Luke Shaw?
Yeah.
Everyone. I was going to say I've been very impressed when I've watched Manchester United this season. He's probably been the one shining light of this Manchester United defence when they have played well. He absolutely battered us going down that left hand side, but he has been. Finally, he's got a good run of form and a bit more fitness under his belt. Would you say all play him for Jack in England? Should play him down that left hand side?
He's got to be the starting left back for England because you look at Ben Chilwell. You know, he's in and out of the team of Alonso. Can't really think of any other left backs really because you know they've got loads of right backs, but left back position they're kind of struggling. But hopefully, for my sake, England have a bad Euros this summer.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah.
I would
when Liverpool players don't get injured, I'm happy. Sounds.
I would honestly be happy if Luke Shaw, like he deserves to be called up, but I hope he doesn't because just like Michael Carrick was overlooked for England, like England don't deserve Luke Shaw. So I hope he doesn't go to the Euros. So that means he can have a full summer off, come back, and then he can be involved in the United team. But if he does go, he's got to be England's #1 left back because
he's got to play.
Chilwell's not good enough to get ahead of him. I don't know anyone else that plays left back for England. I don't know any. So
before we go, big names to miss out on that England side, though.
Before we go, I actually forgot to mention that there is another big event happening on Sunday. It is the Old Firm Derby between Celtic and Rangers.
4-0 Rangers. Game, set, match.
Steven Gerrard's coming to pitch and score a 40-yarder.
Are we all saying Rangers wins?
Yeah, Rangers
win.
They're going unbeaten in the league this year. Like it's done.
I'll be different. I'll go 1-1 draw. I'll go.
Oh, interesting.
Even if it's a 1-1 draw, they're still unbeaten in the league, so I'm alright with that. Yeah. But I want to beat them at Parkhead.
I just think Celtic will, it's an old firm, so they'll have to turn up on late. But it's a bit of a shame, really, and nothing's right in the game. It would be great to see if Rangers could have won the league at Celtic Park, but it's a bit of a shame, but should still be a good game
Yeah.
anyway. But it's the second biggest derby this weekend anyway.
Ian Cleland is saying 6-0 Morelos hat-trick, Reece.
I'd be fine with that.
Doug,
That'd be all right. That'd be all right.
And Morelos has never scored against Celtic, so it'd be a good time to see that one.
He needs to at least get one goal against Celtic.
Yeah.
There's
Old
a
Firm
split in Scotland as well at some point. It's getting near that time, isn't it? Doesn't the league is sort of the top and the bottom half split from each other?
It
I think that's only
separates
Wales.
Yeah, it's after this weekend.
Oh.
After
this weekend's the split.
Right, okay.
It's after the 33rd game. From there onwards, this is when it splits. It's going to get interesting. We'll see. You think you're going to get top 4, aren't you?
Livingston managed to get top 6, so I'm pretty happy. Look, we've overachieved again, Reece. It's quite simple. We've overachieved again. The
only difference is you made the decision to move on Gary Holt at the right time, because if you hadn't, I don't think you would have been near enough the show, and I think you may have been close to the relegation zone if you had kept him, to be honest. I agree with you say in terms of massive overachieve, but David Martindale's came in, he's done a very decent job, and he's made them into a team. Have you played the cup final yet? Or
yeah, we played
coming up?
We lost 1-0 to St Johnstone.
I wasn't sure when the cup final was on. I've literally been zoned out from Scottish football for a little bit. Had too much shit going on, but I actually thought Livingston were going to win that cup final, to be honest. I thought the way he's been playing, but I think the only thing is once you had that first defeat under Martindale, it was slowly creeping in. But you're in the top half of the table at least, so at least you can have that, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
Absolutely delighted, and we've got Hibs at the weekend, so I'll be watching it with my fiance and my future father-in-law, who are big Hibs fans. And the last time that happened, Livingston won 3-0 at Easter Road, so I'll be pretty happy with that. Seamus,
did they send you packing then? You didn't stay for tea that night, did you?
Yeah, I was going to say, you might not be allowed back in, lads.
Final comment of the night. Seamus Moore says, I can see at least one red card in that game will be a feisty one. I absolutely agree. Guys, it has been another fantastic podcast. A shame that Josh has missed this one. I've really, really enjoyed doing this one on my solo. But big thank you to, obviously, Jack Mack LFC. Where can we find you in your socials?
Just Jack Mack LFC, mate. Been a pleasure to meet everyone. Lovely, absolutely lovely. Hopefully every single one is and everyone watching at home is keep safe and well these times.
Yeah.
And speak to you soon, boys. But it's been an absolute pleasure, boys. Lovely to meet you.
And also great to have Rhys Bish from Swans Away Days. Just tell us your socials, but absolute pleasure to have you, my friend.
Yeah, it's just basically Swans Away Days and everything, where I post my YouTube content and stuff like that. Yeah, looking forward to it, and hope everyone has a good week apart from Nathan and Paul.
Paul, thank you very much for coming back on as well. I really do appreciate it. And we'll have you back on very, very shortly in the future as well. Nathan and Reece, thank you very much as well, taking the charge of Josh not being here as well. Next week, I have to say this now. Next week, now obviously because it is international break, we won't be talking about any football. We will be doing our second tier list, and it is going to be on left backs. So that will be very, very interesting to see as well. We'll also be joined by Cameron Hay from the Mighty Blues as well. He couldn't have come on tonight, unfortunately. So hopefully we'll have him back on. I think we'll have George Cowell on next week as well. So yeah, it should be a very, very good one. But
and
yeah, guys, if you have enjoyed...
And if we mark your favourite left back as a poor player, don't give Doug abuse.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you for that. But until then, guys, thank you very much for watching. Smash the like button and subscribe if you're new, and we will see you in the next one. Enjoy your weekend. Cardiff and Swansea fans, don't know if they'll enjoy their weekends, but we'll see what happens.
Make sure you win, Cardiff.
Come on.
You'll see who's going to be enjoying it when their Twitters are active.
Absolutely. See you later. Bye, everybody.
See you later.
Bye. Oops.